You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day, to this day.
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so hard work, hard work.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day, to this day.
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so hard work, hard work.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day, to this day. To this day, to this day. Fighting 400 and still fighting to this day, to this day.
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so hard work, hard work.
Still fighting to this day, to this day.
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me, so hard work, hard work.
You know we've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day. To this day, to this day.
Check. Mic check. What up? What's going on, fight fans? Gym boxing family, this your boy Get a Mic. Much love, peace, and blessings. Appreciate everybody for checking in, man. Make sure y'all give this live stream a good old thumbs up for your boy, man. We was gonna do this live stream solely and specifically about, Canelo. Said he was not fighting Triple G. Talk a little bit of Kovalev. We're gonna switch over. We'll still talk about those things in this live stream. We're probably gonna switch gears and get right into Spence and Porter, man. But how's everybody doing out there? Ernest Jones, what's going on? Appreciate you for coming through the stream, man. It's fight week. And I can't not do a live stream about this, man. We got to talk about Spence Porter. We got to get it in, and we most definitely will, man. And we've been working, man. We've been putting some stuff together, getting ready for this trip. Getting my fight week stuff together. Fight outfit and everything. Got me a new chair, man. Your boy got some back problems, man. So had to get a chair that work out for me, man. So. But anyway, moving right along, we'll jump into a little bit of Canelo. We'll talk about Canelo Alvarez, man. The news dropped, I think it was yesterday, that Canelo basically said that he's not fighting Triple G. He's not interested in that fight anymore. You know, they already did 2 fights. But he basically said they're finished. They're done. No Canelo Triple G 3. Basically, you know, Triple G could forget about it. And, you know, Canelo is moving up to fight Sergey Kovalev in a fight that I think is going to be a good one. But, you know, it just really depends on, you know, if you believe Canelo is he trying to go up there and pick on the easiest light heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? I think some people believe that. I saw that in some comment sections and stuff like that. Some people believe that this is just going to be one hell of a fight, and that, you know, and Kovalev actually could give Canelo a whole lot of issues, you know, being that he has such a good jab. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this topic, man. I just definitely want to dove into it and talk about it a little bit before we move on, man. So Canelo says, my intention is to return to 160 pounds, but it's difficult when you go up and then you go back down. With discipline and diet, anything is possible. He says you need to take risk in order to make history, and I'm willing and happy to do it, okay? He says Kovalev will be one of the most difficult fights in my career. I want to be an active champion across 3 divisions. I am motivated by every challenge that I take. And I mean, you know, to me, in my personal opinion, there's a few ways you can look at it. And I won't be mad at anybody who believes either way. But you see this a lot where you got guys moving up in weight. And they moving up in weight for various reasons. Obviously, to become great. You know, if you want to be a great fighter, which I believe Canelo Alvarez is, he's a young man with a huge resume, a lot of accomplishments. But, you know, if you really want to really be that real deal, you definitely do got to move up and take challenges. So I can understand that from that standpoint, you know, especially after, you know, Kovalev came off of a pretty good win, you know, a knockout win versus Anthony Yarde. So, you know, I don't necessarily think, you know, for the most part, it's a cherry pick, but I can understand what people mean by, you know, you get to move up in weight and fight a guy that, you know, actually got 2 losses by KO and actually 3 losses in total. So some people may look at this as he's ducking other 160 pounders, you know, to move up and fight somebody that they feel is weaker. I can understand, but for the most part, if he does come out victorious versus Kovalev, that will be, to me, you know, you do got to look at that as impressive. You know, you got to look at that as, you know, something that's a good accomplishment. Jay Cooley, I see you in the building, fam. You got to look at, we're going to get into Errol Spence and Shawn Porter too, don't worry. I know everybody here for that. It's fight week, man, and I'm hyped, just as hyped as anybody. But I definitely wanted to, you know, chime in my thoughts on this whole situation with, if Canelo definitely does come out victorious versus Kovalev, you know, you have to look at that as impressive. You know, he moved up to 168 pounds, fought, I believe it was Rocky Fielding, and was able to get him up out of there. And it was a pretty impressive win. You know, I mean, nobody really knew who Rocky Fielding was, but the guy definitely had some, some huge height advantages, and some reach advantages over Canelo. But Canelo was able to chop that tree down. I don't know why they keep doing that. But yeah, you know, he was able to move up to 168 pounds. So he has a little bit of experience fighting, you know, much taller fighters, much lengthier fighters at higher weight classes than 160. So Jay Cooley says, I can't say that's impressive, Mike. He cherry picking, fam. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're going to have, in my opinion, you're going to have people, you know, say from both angles. And I can understand why you would say that. But I don't know, man. Like the only reason why I call it, the only reason I'm not prepared to call it like a cherry pick so much is because I really think Kovalev is a good fighter, bro. Like that, if he was a trash, no name guy, I would say it's more like choosing fights, like somewhat like how Mayweather would, you know, fight guys at certain times and move around them. But I don't necessarily want to call it a cherry pick, because usually cherry picks is whooping up on somebody that that's pretty much trash for the most part. You know, you trying to get the easiest fights, you know, but I don't look at Kovalev as being like an easy fight like that. I think he's a good fighter. You know, a good solid fighter, good solid champion. You know, he's been champion multiple times, and the dude can freaking box. You know what I'm saying? He can box. Ernest Jones, man, what's up? I see you in there. He says, I think it's obvious how to beat Kovalev, go to the body. Yeah, we seen guys like a later Alvarez, you know, get that KO win, and we also seen guys like Andre Ward, you know what I'm saying? But you know, with all that being said, though, you know, I still believe that he's a pretty solid fighter. You know, especially if his mindset is in the right place. Anthony Yarde did have some success. Had some success with him, you know, in that fight in the later rounds. But for the most part, man, I thought he looked pretty decent versus a very strong and athletic fighter. You know what I'm saying? Jeff AE, what's going on? He says, salute, Jim. Like that cap. I'm okay with Nello fighting Sergey, but he should have picked Demetrius. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm definitely wondering what, but I think he eventually will fight Demetrius Andrade. Is what I'm saying. You know, I think it will end up doing it. But I mean, let's just say he moves up to 175 pounds, beats Kovalev, and then he moves back down and he fights Demetrius Andrade. You know, if he can come out successful in these fights, I mean, you have to look at that as, you know, being greatness. You know, I'm not ready to just, you know, like bash the man. Like, I don't know, man. I don't really rock like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that kind of guy to just bash dudes and stuff like that. But, you know, for the most part, if he can get that done, you know, power to him. If he can't, then it is what it is. You know, we gotta call it what we see it as. You know what I'm saying? So he said, is the fight on Fox now? What fight? You say, is there a fight on Fox now, or is that fight on Fox? I'm not sure what you mean. He said, this is definitely not a cherry. He's going up 2 weight classes to fight a champion. Yeah, that's why I don't call it a cherry pick if the fighter is a champion and he's good. Like, you know, I heard some people say Mikey Garcia, you know, was cherry picking, or he was running and trying to cherry pick, and then when he fought Errol Spence, and I'm just thinking, how are you cherry picking when you fighting a guy that's much bigger, stronger, and probably better boxer than you? That's not a cherry pick. But if you want to say he's maneuvering around guys in his own weight class, you know, so it won't look bad if he loses to somebody in his own weight class, I can understand that, but I don't think that's a cherry. Sam D, I see you in here, family. Buddy McGirt is not letting that go to the body strategy be easy. Right. Buddy McGirt, he yeah, exactly. Jeff A says, I do too. Him and Jamal Charlo, I think Alvarez will fight later on. Kovalev is the fight to fill up his contract. A good one at that. Yeah. See, and that's the thing. Like, as much as a boxing fan, as I really don't like how people jump around and pick the fights, but I kind of understand it. You know, some things we don't like, but we just understand it. I think when it comes down to how Canelo is moving about, he's moving about in the most strategic. You could tell he just learned a lot from Floyd. You know, he learned a lot from Floyd about how to move and do things at the right time. And I think moving up to Kovalev, getting that win, okay, that he'll be a champion across 3 weight classes. And then if he come back down and fight Demetrius Andrade, like, you just have to imagine how much better that makes his resume than it already is. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's definitely, he's going to make a lot of money. I don't know, man. Like, I'd be wanting these fighters to fight who I want them to see fight, but I also can understand what makes sense at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And Canelo is young. You know, some people believe his body is breaking down, and he's not necessarily probably have that high of a ceiling as far as longevity, because, I mean, but that's just some people's opinions. You know, I don't know. I'm not in his camp, and I don't really know that to be true. But he says Canelo is doing the same thing Mikey did, ducking the undisputed match. I mean, Kova again is a good fight, and I think Boo Boo will be seen later, but he should have done it immediately, man. Yeah, but that's us as boxing fans. That's our how can I say that? That's our opinion. That's our thoughts, but there's a lot of other stuff that goes into that as well, But I respect that opinion too, But anyway, man, it's gonna be interesting to see. I don't want to go too far into that because we got pretty much a while before that fight happens. What do y'all think in the comment section? Moving on to Terence Crawford, right? Oscar De La Hoya, he had a little interview, a little quick interview right here with Fight Hype, and he was basically saying that what Bob Arum is doing is making it very, very tough for Crawford, and he could possibly miss the Hall of Fame messing around with Bob Arum, and he's basically saying that because Bob Arum can't get him the fights that he wants, he could possibly end up not being a Hall of Fame fighter. And I want to know what the Gym Boxing family think about that, and we'll dove into and look at his resume and just kind of see, is Crawford a Hall of Fame fighter at this stage of his career, with the lack of competition that Bob Arum is able to get him. He says he's not doing anything for him. I actually feel kind of bad that Crawford might not even get to the Hall of Fame one day because Bob can't get him a fight. So I don't know what Oscar De La Hoya was trying to say here, because to me, if you ask me, I think Terence Crawford is already en route to the Hall of Fame. With this multiple weight class champion, he's been a unified champion at 135 pounds, undisputed at 140 pounds. Pretty much was the best in his weight class, and also, he moved up to 147 pounds. And was able to, get a championship fight, his first fight here, and not only that, but defend it twice. So, I think he's on route to be a Hall of Fame fighter, no doubt about it in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So, Ernest Jones says I disagree with Oscar, and yeah. And Jeff AE says Crawford is no doubt a Hall of Famer. And ATG. I don't know what that means. At this pace, he may not reach that level. His 140-pound accomplishments already has his foot in the door with being a Hall of Fame. Yeah. I agree. But Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, 2 top welterweights. But he says, hold on. Before I go into that, he says Crawford never defended his titles at 140 though. All-time great. But anyway, man, enough about Terence Crawford. Enough about Canelo, Kovalev. I know we could talk that boxing stuff, man, but this whole week I already promised and told y'all what we're going to be talking about. We talking Errol Spence and Shawn Porter. It's fight week. I'm so hyped. I can't wait. And we're going to take some callers tonight, man. We're going to definitely take some callers. We're going to let y'all speak y'all piece. And I can't wait, man. Undisputed champ, belts in multiple weight classes are worthy of Hall of Fame. Absolutely, Eric H. I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. For sure. Okay, so that does that. I see why that's like that. Cool. All right, so anyway, Ernest Jones said, time for the truth is fight week, baby, and I can't wait. Errol Spence, Shawn Porter. Y'all know I'm hyped. These my 2 favorite fighters, man, and I'm going to be like a kid in the candy store during this whole fight, man. So, Errol Spence, has been extremely quiet, and like he always is, doesn't really say too much, only except for the face-to-face. Shawn Porter, is a more outspoken kind of guy. He be on PBC, inside PBC boxing, so he likes to talk a lot and explain himself a lot. So a lot of people, a lot of boxing media, boxing outlets, they've been roasting Shawn Porter for some of the things he's been saying about Errol Spence, saying that, I wouldn't have said that. And I mean, I can understand it. If you're finna go up against a dog like Errol Spence, you really wouldn't want to piss Errol Spence off. You know what I'm saying? You would want to, say nice things to him and don't make him get riled up for this fight. You want to kind of try to play mind games and make it seem like everything is respectful, and then, secretly try to come out and whoop up on him. But, with that being said too, right, make sure y'all give this a thumbs up too, because we're going to get it in tonight. We started off kind of slow, but we're gonna talk tonight and tomorrow and the next day until I get on the plane, and then we're gonna talk when I get to LA. We're gonna talk some more. We're gonna talk after the fight, because it's lit. I'm hyped. But Davidion Simmons, I see you, family. I definitely see you up in there. Corwin Thomas, to know the questions. Mr. De Niro up in the building. Yeah. So what was I getting into? I done lost my train of thought. But yeah. Some of the stuff that Shawn Porter was saying, it could be a good thing, or it could be a bad thing for him. You know what I'm saying? But either way you look at it, none of the talking is really gonna matter. Come fight night, they both got to get in the ring and they both got to execute their game plan, and the best man just will be victorious in this fight. You know what I'm saying? So let me read some of these comments, man. Then we're gonna open up the phone lines, let y'all get up in here. He says, if it goes to decision, who do you think taking it? If it goes to decision, man, that's a pretty tough question, to be honest. I think maybe Errol. I'll have to say Errol if it goes to decision, and that right there could be the possible outcome of this fight. Right there, what you just said. If this fight goes to decision, Errol Spence is, historically the more accurate puncher. He's historically the more accurate puncher. So, that right there is one of the reasons why Errol Spence should win the fight. Because if he can land more power punches in this fight, even if it goes to distance, because I think it'll go to distance. I think this fight will go to distance. I don't really see a knockout or a stoppage. I just think these guys are both too tough and they just too strong and got too much dog. But if it goes to distance, you have to lean a little bit towards Errol Spence just because of accuracy and punch output, But we shall see. The one thing that makes me think differently is the fact that Shawn Porter is so aggressive, and I'm not too sure how that works with Errol Spence. A guy that's super, super active. Ty Envy says the build-up is lame. Neither fighter have charisma to sell this fight. They don't, and I think that really could affect their pay-per-view numbers, obviously. But I think the hardcore boxing fans are gonna like this fight regardless. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna watch this fight. We're gonna like this fight anyway. But a lot of times you need that charisma and that personality to be able to bring in the casual fans. That you need to be saying things that's gonna echo throughout not only the boxing world but other areas of life too. You know what I'm saying? That's what Mayweather did so well, in my opinion, is he was able to bring in the casual fans with all his junk talking. He putting his finger all in Ortiz's neck, and you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna F you up and F you, and Mayweather would say stuff that would transcend just the small circle of boxing fans. He would go outside and bring in the casuals, and I think that right there is why we haven't quite seen a pay-per-view megastar like that since then, but we shall see, man. I want to say Spence had the upper hand with the scorecards. Yeah, probably. But see, Eric H, that's not set in stone. As much as I believe, like if I had to lean towards one, it'll be Spence. But the fact that I'm not too sure of how Shawn Porter's aggression is going to affect Spence, how the awkwardness is going to affect Spence, once we see that, like in the first few rounds of the fight, and you can kind of see that what Shawn Porter is doing is not bothering Spence. If we see that, then okay, it's like, all right, I got a good feeling. If it goes to the cards, then you got yourself an Errol Spence win. But we still got to see first. You know what I'm saying? We still got to see. So he says we will. I will buy it. However, it also business right. Floyd displayed the blueprint. Facts, facts, big facts. Porter aligning himself with LeBron might bring people out for the night. Yeah, you got a point there too. You know. Lewis Coleman, I see you up in the building, man. He said, "What's up, good people, man? I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm living life. I'm happy. I'm healthy. My family is healthy. My family is beautiful. Um, life is good, man. I still got both of my parents in my life. Everything is great. I'm happy. I can't complain, bro. And not only that, it's freaking fight week. how much more happy can a person be, man? It's fight week, man. Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter. Unification bout is going down. Make sure y'all call in. Speak your piece. 561-935-5186. I'm sitting right here at the office, the gym boxing office, waiting on your call, man. But man, if Errol Spence can keep Shawn Porter at the end of that jab and really work off of that jab, then Errol Spence will be successful. But if Shawn Porter, with all that Mike Tyson ducking low and getting in and being rough and, maybe a few headbutts and elbows and all that, if some of that stuff affects Errol Spence as far as like, losing rounds, because, like let's look back at the Kell Brook fight, right? Kell Brook was having success in the early rounds of this fight by, counter punching, being aggressive. He was trying to bully the bully, and he was having some success. So although we know Shawn Porter is not Kell Brook, he doesn't have that same build. He doesn't fight the same. But I think that bully the bully type of mindset is what was giving Kell Brook some success. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence, though, he made it known that he was gonna step on the gas versus Kell Brook. He was gonna continue to press his weight. I'm not sure if that would have worked if Kell Brook's eye wouldn't have gave out. Maybe that's why he started to faint in the second half. But if, let's just say, for instance, Shawn Porter tries to bully the bully in this fight, but his eye doesn't go out and he stays active in his fight throughout, will Shawn Porter win rounds? Will it be super close? Will it be a draw? Will it be a draw? You just don't know, man. It just all remains to be seen. There's so many different things that we can look at. He says, did you just say headbutts and elbows, Joe? I don't mean intentional, bro. I don't mean intentional. I'm talking about the rough style. You know what I'm talking about. I don't think Shawn Porter intentionally does any of that. And I think he's just a very, very aggressive fighter, man. And everything, with that is how Shawn Porter fights. So he says Kell Brook would grab and then hold Porter. Absolutely. I didn't like it. I thought maybe, all the holding stuff was kind of whack. But, he had to do what he had to do to steal that belt and run back. But obviously, Errol Spence got that belt up off him and came back over and got it. So I ain't had my first caller yet, man. 561-935-5186. Somebody call in and talk to me. He says, hey, Jim, is it true that when one orbital bone is broken, the other one weakens? I have no medical background or knowledge whatsoever, bro. But one thing I will say is that, just looking at the way things work structurally, I would imagine it would have an effect. But maybe Kell Brook just had weak orbital bones, Everybody's DNA is different. Everybody's body build is different. So it could have just been that Kell Brook's orbital bones was just weak in general, So I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor, man. I kind of took an automotive route in my career. So, but it all remains to be seen. Stephen McCurdy, what's going on? I see you in here, family. He says, draw. Real funny, dude. Oh, man. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if it was one, In the Kell Brook fight, Spence was off like 9 months. He says there is no truth to that at all. So Corbin Thomas, what's going on, man? I see. Oh, you said there's no truth to the whole orbital bone situation. I don't know. I can't say it's true one way or another, bro. Like I have no no medical background whatsoever, so I just do not know. I think we got our first caller. Eight 832, what's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
You know this De Niro.
Oh man, my number one caller. What's going on, Mr. De Niro? What's happening with you, brother?
What's going on, man? I said I was gonna call in first, dog. You know.
Yes, sir. Get the ball rolling.
Man, I don't have nothing, no ill will toward Porter, no disrespect, dog. This fight ain't gonna go this like 6 rounds, man. His daddy gonna throw in that Ohio State red towel too. We're gonna throw in the towel because you better use one of them Ohio colors, man. So, you know, a lot of people out Ohio versus everybody and all that other stuff. Throw in one of them Ohio color towels, man.
So let me ask you this, bro. Do you really honestly believe that Kenny Porter is gonna throw in the towel if he sees Shawn Porter taking damage?
Oh yeah, he's gonna protect you. That's his son, man. That's his son. He gonna think about his son's life, unlike Mikey's brother did. Mikey begged his brothers not to stop that fight. He said, Mikey asked me not to stop it, so I didn't stop. Come on, man.
All right, so
Mikey wanted that moral victory. There's no such thing as a moral victory. He still got that butt, but I believe Kenny Porter gonna throw in that towel, and he ain't gonna play with his son's life like that. He loves him too much. But
my thing is this: like we've seen in past fights where Shawn Porter would be in very, very grueling fights to where he's cut, he's bleeding, he looks tired. I mean, he really just dug down deep, and I never seen Kenny throwing in the towel at any point or even think about it. So, like, what kind of ass whooping? Huh?
I said he wasn't fighting his dog that he's finna face, man. There's levels to this. Oh, I've been trying to tell you, man. There's a reason them dudes been ducking this man for 3 years. It's a reason. They know they smart. They know this a big payday. It's that cash out. So I'm gonna go do some commentary. He speaks real proper.
Hey, you might actually be right, though, man. You might actually be right.
He's a well-spoken young man, and he keeps his phrases tight. He's gonna have a job.
Hey, man, no braids jokes, man. No braids jokes.
Oh yeah, he might have to cut them jokers off because they weight again, huh?
Oh man, hey man, he had a little trouble making weight, but he still made weight, dog, and he retained that title, dog. So
he cut 2 braids, took them apart, and made weight.
Oh man, so hey De Niro, man, I will be going live after the fight, man. So I would definitely like for you to make sure you show up and show out on the channel, man, when we go live, especially if Errol Spence win in impressive fashion. I know you and Jay Cooley, y'all gonna be the first ones up on the stream, man. So
oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna be sitting here watching. I just actually walked in the house. I'm getting ready to watch the Peter Quinlan fight too.
Yeah, he is throwing down tonight. Yep, absolutely.
Yep, I just got that reminder.
But let me see, I got 305 trying to call in. Stick around, De Niro, and I'm gonna have him call through. Appreciate your call, bro, being my first one of the night.
All right then, you know how to do it.
Yes sir.
305,
call back in if you want to. 305, what's that? That's Miami, right? Ain't 305 Miami? Yeah, feel free to call back, and I seen your missed call, man. So when it came down to Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia, you know, my fight prediction was actually him getting stopped in the 10th round. You know, I thought the fight would be interesting. I thought Spence's size and strength would have been too much for Mikey. And the funny part about it was how close my prediction was. You know, right after the 9th round, you had what's his brother's name? Robert Garcia, about to throw the towel in. Mikey Garcia did have to beg to like, let me finish this fight. And, I kind of studied some film and looked at it and thought about it. And then the way I see this fight is I personally can't see Kenny Porter throwing in the towel for his son. I don't know. I just can't see it. If it happens, then should I be the first one to say I was wrong? And Errol Spence is, he's exactly what we all thought he was. But, for the most part, man, I think this thing should go the distance, man. I think it will. Yep. So who else gonna call in? 561-935-5186. Do not be afraid. We talking this Errol Spence, this Shawn Porter, and we're gonna be talking all night. Errol Spence says, I'll be the first person to knock out Shawn Porter. He said he will be the first. Errol Spence Jr. reveals that he's not listening to the noise that Shawn Porter has been making and trying to throw him off his game for their September 28th bout. Porter has recently said that the experience to beat Errol Spence due to some of his tough fights he's had in the past. Shawn has been in there with Keith Thurman, Kell Brook, and Danny Garcia. Errol Spence says, I'm different than anybody Shawn has ever fought. He says, I'm not Keith Thurman and I'm not Danny Garcia. Shawn has been in a lot of close fights with great fighters, but I'm going to bring something he's never seen before. I'm just going to stay focused and win easy. Everything I said I'll do in the fight, I've done so far. I expect a knockout, and that's what's going to happen September 28th. Man, that's some bold stuff right there. That's a very bold statement from Errol Spence Jr. He says and if you're an Errol Spence fan, which I definitely am, you root for Errol Spence very strong. That's one of those kind of things you just got to be excited about. He seems very, very confident, and he seems like he's coming into this thing, looking to be impressive. And usually, like I said before, when a person says they're going to do something and they put their mind to it and they believe it and they work hard at it, usually that's what happens. You end up getting things done, what you end up trying to get done in the first place, man. So, I definitely look forward to Errol Spence coming out and putting on a good performance. I just think Shawn Porter is going to come out ready, and I think there's going to be so much determination and so much dog in the ring that it's just going to make for one hell of a fight anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, where are all my Spence fans at, man? What are Errol Spence fans at? Make some noise up in here. I don't see the Spence fans coming in heavy today. Where y'all at? Where the Dallas Cowboys at? 305. Do I got 305 calling? 305. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, this DJ calling from Dade County.
Yes, sir. I knew it was Dade County, man. What's going on with you, bro?
Ain't nothing much, man. This is my whole thing. I want to sit here and explain to y'all. If Porter cannot hurt Spence, he in trouble, man. Simple as that. I've seen Spence pretty much with the Kell Brook fight. Each time he punches Spence and takes him, he just kept coming. That's my whole issue.
Yeah.
I know Porter, dog. I know he, like you said, headbutts and elbows and all that, but if he cannot get Spence to respect his power, he in trouble.
Yeah, you got a point.
He is in big trouble, Tim. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just really don't. I'm sitting up and I'm trying to look. I'm trying to not be a fanboy, like you say. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. Yeah, you're right.
I'm just trying to really figure out how can he beat Spence. I'm just like, for real. I'm really trying to figure that out. I don't know, man. I don't see it looking too good for him.
Yeah. Hey, you might actually be right, bro. Like I said, I would not be surprised if Errol Spence comes out here and wins the Presley. The dude definitely got skills, bro. You know, you talking to a guy that really see it, man. So
man, that's something real big on about this fight. If Porter coming against everything he got, you know what I'm saying? He done slip one cookie. Gave Spence one of his best punches. Spence look at him and laugh. You know, all he gonna do is keep going forward. Walking forward. And it's like I think that was Mr. De Niro that was calling. That just called. I don't see his dad just stopping it just because he's taking punishment. I see his dad stopping it. It's just something similar to the Lamont Peterson fight. If he's taking punishment and he don't see. He just get, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not competitive like the Lamont Peterson fight. If it's competitive, I don't care how much punishment Porter taking. His dad not gonna stop the fight.
all right. Hey, I got a question for you though. Just being from what I see, you know, like when Lamont Peterson was fighting Spence that one time, Lamont Peterson was pretty much, you know, staying toe to toe trying to fight right in the mix with Errol Spence, and Errol Spence was punishing him. Do you think that at some point in this fight, if Shawn Porter starts taking punishment, do you think he has the athleticism and the speed to move around the ring and survive?
Oh yeah, I do. But see, surviving and winning, you know what I'm saying? I don't. It's kind of hard to tell you if you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let you survive the fight, or if you're taking punishment like Lamont Peterson was, I'm gonna just go ahead and stop the fight. Not saying that he's going to, but I'm just talking about whether he's going to stop the fight or not. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
That's what the last caller was saying.
Right.
Where his dad stopped the fight. The only way I see his dad stopping the fight is if it's something he's doing something towards like the Lamont Peterson fight, where it's not really competitive.
Yeah.
He's taking too much punishment, so it's like punishment pretty much.
Yeah, it started not worth it anymore.
But if it's competitive and you know, Spence could be winning a little bit, but if it's competitive, then I don't see him stopping the fight. I don't see him stopping.
And I think that right there is what I see. Even if Shawn Porter loses this fight, I think just from how active he is and how strong he is, I think this fight will be competitive pretty much through the fight.
Yeah. I understand that. I can see that too. But my big key with Shawn is if he has to give Spence's respect.
Right.
If you don't get Spence's respect, he's in trouble.
Yeah, I got you.
I mean, he's not gonna stop.
Yeah, that's true.
That Joker's not gonna stop. He's just gonna keep coming like the Energizer button. Keep going. You know what I'm saying?
And another thing too, to your point, is one thing I do know about Errol Spence that I've seen in past fights is, let's say, like you said, Shawn Porter doesn't have the power to really hurt Spence, right? And he starts to try to use that boxing style that he used versus Danny Garcia and Ugas. One thing I know about Errol Spence is Errol Spence has that ability to chase fighters down, cut the ring off, and that's when I think he's at his best.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
Right, so that could be dangerous.
Go ahead.
But anyway, yeah, what's your name, brother?
I'm Ernest Jones. I'm the one that be cut, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, Ernest Jones. Yeah. Hey, I appreciate your call, man. I appreciate you coming through and participating on the show, man. Much appreciated.
Okay, no problem, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All day.
All right, bro.
All right, Ernest Jones in the building. Yeah, man. So, he got some definitely some valid points when it comes down to how this thing plays out. You know, if it becomes not competitive anymore, where, you know, Shawn, because see, my only problem with Shawn Porter, and y'all know I'm a big Shawn Porter fan, and my brother pointed this out to me years ago, is that Shawn Porter, although I love his athleticism and his aggressiveness and how much he comes in and out, his punches to the head area is so not accurate to me, and it's frustrating. And I don't know what he needs to do. I don't know if he needs to wear that little hat with the ball like Lomachenko be doing. But his accuracy, and a lot of people, you know, say it's because he smothers his work. But I just feel like it's because he's so short and the way his body is built. his arms is not allowing him to really land a punch. He's not able to place the punch like you want to. You know, a lot of times when Shawn Porter, when he throws punches, he kind of like has to jump into the punch, or he has to get up very close. And I think usually when you have to get up close to an opponent, a lot of times they see you coming and they know how to evade at the high level. You know what I'm saying? So, that's one of my only things, is that if he's not accurate and if he can't get in there to land those punches that's going to really do damage, he could be at a disadvantage, especially because Errol Spence is a southpaw. You know, that southpaw advantage could be a very big problem in this fight if Shawn Porter is not prepared properly for that. You know, I seen with Mikey Garcia, when it was at AT&T Arena, Errol Spence Jr. was using that southpaw advantage very, very well. You know, if you will watch his feet, like if you go back and watch the fight, his foot was like keeping him right at that distance to where Mikey couldn't land. You know, he would lunge in with a jab, but because of that foot, Errol can kind of feel right as he's trying to jab him, and Errol would retreat, get out the way a little bit, just enough to try and do something else. And I'll see Errol Spence. He'll be stepping on Mikey's toes from time to time. You know, very sneaky old school trick where the referee he didn't see it, but it kind of like messes up Mikey's timing, and then Mikey had to reset. Because I think one of Mikey Garcia's one of his best attributes, from 130 all the way up, is his timing. He's always been better or faster to the punch than most of his opponents. And the fact that Errol Spence is able to make him reset, that's why another reason he was so successful in that fight. But anyway, changed my mind. Call in 561-935-5186. I'm sitting right here waiting on you to call in. I think we had 2 callers so far, man. So y'all call on in. I think I had a missed call. Let me see who just called and I missed their call. Yeah, 301. 301, if you're still in the chat, man, feel free to call back in. Mr. De Niro says, remember how everybody said Mikey was hands down the better boxer? And teaming up with Snack was trouble for Errol. Porter stayed far away from Snack, huh? Yeah, man. Sam D says Mikey got a great 1-2. Absolutely. Joseph Valentine, what's going on? I see you. He says Errol ain't fought no Shawn. No, he haven't fought a Shawn Porter yet. Porter will overwhelm Mikey. Yeah, I seen other brothers saying that if Mikey Garcia was more natural at the weight class, he'll beat Shawn Porter, but he's not natural at the weight class. And even right now, and I still think Shawn Porter rough up Mikey Garcia, and he might stop Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia, he's not good when you coming forward at him. He has to be coming forward and try to time you, but we know how that'll play out if Shawn Porter was fighting him. He'll come straight in on him and rough him up and probably knock him out. And that's pretty much over-exaggerated, but for the most part, I think he'll beat him. Brandon Williams says Porter and his dad is gonna get beat down. LOL. Why you say that? Oh, you talking about if the trainers get it in? He said I got Derek James stopping Kenny Porter in 3 rounds. Hey, what's funny too? I was gonna do a poll on my community tab about who y'all picking if those two was to fight. Derek James. Derek James was a professional. I don't know if Kenny was. I'm not sure, but I know for a fact Derek James was a professional boxer. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will pick Derek James to beat Kenny Porter, but I think Kenny Porter probably is a lot heavier. So what weight would they fight at, right? South Phoenix Ryder says, who has Porter KO? Come on, bro. What does that have to do with him KOing Mikey? Just because he hasn't KO'd a lot of people recently, because he's always. If you look at Shawn Porter's resume, though, I mean, a lot of his competition has been tough. So no, he ain't really got that huge of a KO situation. But on the later end of his career, that's because he been fighting top names. You don't knock out a lot of guys at the top names. You know what I'm saying? So He said, "Who has KO'd Mikey?" Nobody. Nobody has KO'd Mikey. Hey, call in, South Phoenix Rising. If you want to speak your piece, you can call in 561-935-5186. But that's just my opinion, though. I believe that he would end up knocking out Mikey Garcia, and I think Errol Spence would have knocked out Mikey Garcia too. I picked him to knock out Mikey. I thought he could have, but you could tell Errol Spence was kind of carrying Mikey Garcia in that fight. So I think a lot of what you saying, in my opinion, is trying to protect Errol to that extent. Because you know how a lot of people, they'll sit up there and say, "Oh, Errol ain't knock out a lightweight." I'm not here criticizing Errol for that. You got the wrong one. I'm not the one that's doing that. I know why Errol Spence didn't knock out Mikey Garcia. He was outboxing him. I see what was going on. I know he probably could have knocked out. So just like I believe Errol Spence can knock out Mikey Garcia, is the same way I believe Shawn Porter can knock out Mikey Garcia. He's a small guy with not that great of fast feet. He got a good 1-2, but I think these strong guys at 147 pounds, would knock out Mikey Garcia. That's just how I see it, bro. It don't have nothing to do with just Porter or Spence. I'm talking about a lot of these heavier guys at the welterweight division. 602. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, the South Phoenix Rising, my man. South Phoenix for sure.
What's going on, South Phoenix? What's your point? Go ahead and speak your piece.
Yeah, ultimately, we just talking about the whole, Mikey Garcia, of course, fighting Shawn Porter. Here's my deal. You can make an argument that Sergey Lipinets hits harder than Shawn Porter. Sergey Lipinets cannot even knock out Mikey Garcia. He hit Mikey Garcia with clean punches, bro. And Mikey Garcia put Sergey Lipinets on the canvas, and Sergey Lipinets fights just like Shawn Porter. And actually, not only does he fight just like Shawn Porter, he fights like Shawn Porter and actually hits with more power. So, like I say, my thing is this: if that's neither here nor there, candidly, I can care less about what Mikey Garcia do. I think he ran around. We had this conversation yesterday when I called in. He basically ran around the ring and tried to survive. The bottom line is everybody saying, Earl hasn't fought anybody. Nobody was trying to line up to fight Earl. Earl tried to fight Shawn Porter freaking 3 years ago, bro, and Shawn Porter didn't want to get in the ring with him. There's a reason for all that. So people, his experience and his stuff is, no, man, let's be real. Them dudes who died him, like Earl said, now that the top of the table to turn, these cats have no choice but to fight. That's where the money is. That's where the belts are at. But when you if Errol Spence did not have a belt, this fight would not be going down. You know it's not going to. So that's all I'm trying to say. But I do think that when people say, my argument is, with the whole competition thing, I'm going to be candid with you. I do feel that Mikey Garcia actually would beat Porter. You said you think he would overwhelm him. I disagree. I think Mikey was sharpshooter and eventually stopped him. I also think that we all know that Brooks beat Porter. And, of course, when we saw what Earl did to Brooks, and I don't want to hear that he damaged good thing. Look, man, Brooks stepped in the ring. He was game for 9 rounds. He didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? Chris Algieri got stopped by Earl Spence. And Manny Pacquiao couldn't stop Algieri. Bundu got stopped by Earl. And Keith Thurman couldn't stop Bundu. I can go on and on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's just my thought process. But like I say, for the most part, candidly, from a tactical standpoint, you and I are on the same page. When I called it yesterday, like I told you, ultimately the accuracy of Earl beats all that in my opinion, unintelligent aggressiveness of Porter. Porter smothers a lot of his own punches. He also throws a lot of wide looping shots when Earl comes straight down the middle.
Right. I got you, fam. Yeah, I mean, I disagree with you on the whole Porter and Mikey thing. I definitely think Porter beats Mikey Garcia, and I think he stops him. And that's just my opinion on that. I believe, and the reason why I say that too is I believe, like I said, I think all of these top welterweights, these top strong welterweights, including Errol Spence Jr. I'm not the type to sit here and say why he didn't knock him out. I know why he didn't knock him out. I believe Errol Spence knocks out Mikey Garcia. I believe Shawn Porter knocks out Mikey Garcia. I think Mikey Garcia is just a little bit too slow and not quite strong enough at 147 pounds. That's just my opinion on that part. But as far as everything else you said about Errol Spence, I understand what you're saying.
All right, I got one question for you.
Uh-huh.
So, basically, we saw what Sergey Lipinets did to Lamont Peterson. You cannot make an argument, of course, after the Errol Spence fight, maybe Lamont Peterson was damaged goods, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was on the tail end of his career.
If Sergey Lipinets fights Shawn Porter, that would be a freaking dog fight. And Mikey Garcia actually made pretty easy work of Lipinets. So that's my argument. I hear what you're saying. But Sergey Lipinets, Mikey and Terence Lipinets actually punched the punch. His order was harder than Errol. He said Earl Harrison punched power moment. So Lipinets punched the punch actually hits harder than Earl.
Yeah, but you gotta. But you gotta think of it like this too. Look how easily Errol Spence knocked out Lamont Peterson. We know Lamont Peterson was on the tail end of his career. And plus he had already got, beat up by Errol Spence. We both know that. So my only thing is that Sergey Lipinets, yes, Mikey Garcia did a hell of a job versus Sergey Lipinets, but I also think Sergey Lipinets was still kind of green. I think he was getting a whole lot better. He was on 13-0 or something like that. So,
something like that, 16,
yeah, so I think over time, I think Sergey Lipinets is getting better as a champion. He was a champion, but he's getting better as a professional. So he knocked out Lamont Peterson. Yeah, he knocked out Lamont Peterson, but I have my reasons for why he knocked out Lamont Peterson. I think Lamont Peterson was pretty much done, bro.
I agree.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. But like I say, man, we on the same page. Like I said, I love the debate. I'm sitting up here, getting it on with folks in your little comment section. That's all. It's fun too.
Yeah, I feel you, fam.
I can't wait for 28, man. It's gonna go down. I hope everybody got some popcorn ready. It's gonna be exciting.
Yes, sir.
It's a 9 with a liver shot.
All right, hey, what's your prediction for the fight? You said what now?
I got Spence at 9. I think he's gonna hit him.
Oh, Spence at 9. Okay.
Or liver shot. Yep.
All right. Hey, I appreciate your call, Phoenix Rising. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. I forgot to shout out the super chat. Ernest Jones, $12 super chat. He says, "Good talking to you. Kind of nervous my first time." Hey, man, it's all good, fam. That's what we're here for, bro. I'm here to talk to the boxing family, make everybody feel comfortable. If it makes you feel better, I ain't doing nothing but sitting in my man cave chilling, bro. So you just look at it like you just calling a homie. Just pick up the phone, say what's up, and you ain't even gotta be nervous, bro. We all family out here in these streets. But yeah, man. Errol Spence. There's a lot of arguments that's made about Errol Spence Jr. That I hear a lot in comment sections. People. It's and a lot of times it's pretty much the same arguments. It's some people that don't like Errol or don't believe he's as great as he is. They'll say things like, "Oh, he fought a broken Kell Brook," and he's fighting small welterweights, and you hear all the same arguments, and then you'll hear the same arguments in the other direction in favor of Errol Spence. Errol Spence is knocking out everybody. He only didn't knock out Mikey because he was trying to outbox him. And, Errol Spence is the truth, and you're going to see. And, so I hear all the same arguments, man. And like I said, I respect everybody's opinion. But the only thing that's really going to unify everybody is, September 28th when we have a definitive situation. When we have a definitive fight in the books, it's over. The scorecards was read. That's when everybody going to be on the same page. And, at least for a little while before all the new debates start. But anyway, 561-935-5186. Make sure y'all call in. Say what's up to your boy. Get a mic, man. If you want to speak your opinion, I'm here for the family, son. Brandon Williams says, "Man down for life." Sam D says, "If Floyd say he a future pay-per-view star, believe him." What y'all talking about? Tank Davis? All right, let me read what Andrew Tucker World said. He says, "Porter has a good resume. Errol has a few tough fights as well. I believe Porter's style makes it a good fight. I see a tough fight. I favor Errol, but I wouldn't be surprised if Porter wins." That statement right there is how I feel. That's pretty much my thoughts as well. I believe this fight is gonna be very, very tough. Renee Box Young, I see you in there, man. Appreciate you for coming through. South Phoenix Rising says it's gonna be a 9th round body shot that's gonna stop him, man. And like I said, bro, I'd be the first to talk about how great Errol Spence is and how much he's, the best fighter. I already believe he's one of the top 2 fighters at welterweight, but we just got to continue to see. He has to continue to keep, proving it in the ring, keep showing us how great he really is. Like I said, I talked to Deontay Wilder after the Mikey fight, and Wilder was basically saying that Errol is the best at 147 pounds. You know? Brandon Williams said, get those likes up. Yeah, man, y'all smash that like button for this fight, man. It's fight week, man. God, it's fight week. Well, we got like an hour and 4 minutes till fight week. But damn it, it's fight week. I'm so hyped. Everybody been waiting on this fight, especially the boxing fans, man. And it's go time, baby. It's go time. We either get to see Errol Spence shine bright and show the world that he's here to conquer 147, or on the other case, Shawn Porter can show up and show that he's here to really make a statement and shock the world. You know, he wants to be Andy Ruiz Part 2. You know what I'm saying? So we got all types of stuff coming up this week, man. It's gonna be so dope this week. And I see you up in there, Robert Rich. Appreciate you for coming through the stream. Make sure y'all tap that like button. You know, double jab that like, no, triple jab that like button for your boy. Turn it blue, and we're gonna keep it pushing tonight, man. I'm looking to have a good night of boxing talk tonight. I know there's supposed to be some fights on. Peter Quillen's supposed to be fighting. I think Jojo Diaz is supposed to be fighting as well. So we got some stuff going on, man. But I just think it's special to get in here with the Gym family, man. It's fight week and it's going down at Staples in LA. Errol Spence. The ticket sales to me, like we checked yesterday, not doing the greatest. But I imagine it'll pick up a little bit more this week and the day of the fight too. So I expect the crowd to be a decent little crowd. Jeff A. said, a lot of people think about Canelo Spence down the line, but what do you guys think of a hypothetical matchup between Errol Spence and GGG if it happened now? You know, that's only if GGG would take that fight, man. Like, you know, GGG seemed like he's been waiting around for Canelo, and, you know, he's not fighting the other middleweights like Andrade. He's not fighting Charlo. Charlo been calling out GGG like crazy, and you know, he's still yet to get that fight. So I don't know why he would fight Spence if he didn't fight you know, the Charlo. So but it is what it is on that note. But that'll be a good matchup to me, man. I think that'll be a war, you know. I think Triple G comes forward pretty well, you know, very well. I think Spence comes forward very well. So, you know, that'll be a decent little matchup, but I don't see it happening. And especially because Errol Spence, I know he wants to be a big pay-per-view star. He wants to be a big money guy. So if Errol Spence moves up, you know, to 160 pounds, you know, after 154, we know he's going for the Canelo fight. You know, he's definitely going for the Canelo fight. So should be pretty dope, man. But Errol Spence did guarantee a knockout versus Porter. So, you know, it still remains to be seen. All right, who want to talk to your boy? Get a mic. 561-935-5186. Pick your phone up. Hit me up real quick. Talk to your boy. State your piece. I want to get some call-in predictions. That's what I want. It's fight week, damn it. I want some call-in predictions. Call in. Tell me who's going to do what round, who's doing what, whose hand going to be raised. I want to hear everything. What is this shit? Your boy Get a Mic just got me a new timepiece. Got me one of them little Mayweather joints right there. That's my fight week watch right there. My fight night watch. Got me picked up a little timepiece at the mall today. Errol the true Spence. Spence in 10 says Ernest Jones. Corwin Thomas says, I can't understand why PBC keep taking black fighter to LA. This fight would have killed in Atlanta. Yeah, I don't understand the whole method behind all of the you know, how they book these fights and stuff like that. So I can't understand it, you know. I can understand in Vegas, you know, because they got the casinos and all of that stuff like that, but I really don't. I don't know why they keep taking it to LA. You know, I'm happy to go for the first time. This is gonna be my first time ever going to LA as an adult. But I tell you what, I don't ever think I'm going back, bro. Like I don't know who lives in LA or whoever been there, but the accommodations in LA, like the price of their hotel rooms for what it is just so not worth it, bro. Like, hey, I live in Florida, and sometime here you can really get a good room for like half, like maybe 1/4 of the price that you can get in LA. Like, I don't know why LA's so expensive, bro, but that was probably the toughest part for me trying to go out to this fight is trying to book a room, bro. Like, man, and then you try to book a room. And they got like all these different apartment sharing type shit where you gotta like, you know, it's like they got like 12 bunk beds in one room and shit. Like, I'm just like, bro, what is up with LA, bro? Like you gotta spend a real guap to get you a nice little suite, bro. Like, it's crazy. If y'all just getting in the live stream, smash the like button. If you don't do it for Gym Boxing, you don't do it for your boy Get a Mic, do it for Fight Week, man. It is Fight Week. We've been talking about this fight for months. And it is finally here, man. So who else? Ernest Jones says 10. Brandon Williams says Spence for the win is 7 rounds. Robert Rich says, I think this fight will be done in round 6 or 7. Wow, I hope not. You know, that'll suck for us, you know, fans that's trying to see a good fight. It says, would be karma for Canelo if he get beat by Errol on his way out like Canelo loves to do. Porter had such a bad showing in LA. Yeah, 201, who's this?
Yeah.
Who's calling? Where you from? What's your name?
Yo, this is Boxing Knowledge.
Boxing Knowledge?
I'm Boxing Knowledge.
Hey, what's going on, man?
And, alright, I didn't think I was going to get through, man. This is a privilege, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you for calling in, bro. Do your thing, man.
Wow, man, this is cool. So anyway, I have a fight prediction, right?
Alright.
So, I think that Porter will come at Earl for various reasons, trying to prove a lot of different things. Porter don't really have a style, okay?
Right.
So his style is very ugly. I'm not dogging the man, I'm just keeping it real. So I see him as being a little confused. I think he's going to come at Earl and he's going to run into something. And he's going to realize that's not the right approach.
Right.
Then he's going to try to back off and box Earl, and that's not going to be the right approach either.
Right.
He's going to come back in and run into something else, and then that's when it's going to be only a matter of time. Earl's going to walk him down, and I believe Earl's going to take him out in about 7 or 8 rounds.
Wow.
He's not going to knock him out. He's going to get a TKO.
Okay.
So the TKO is going to beat Porter up. And they're going to stop the fight. After the fight, Porter's going to put his head on Earl's shoulder and say, you're the man, you won. And Earl's going to say, thank you. And then, like Earl says, he's going to put him on my resume.
Hey, man. Hey, the funny thing about that is, like, it's like when you were saying that, it almost took me into the future a week from now, bro. And it kind of scared me a little bit. Like, damn, bro, this dude might actually be right. But I'm a fan of both of these guys, man. So if win, lose, or draw, man, it's gonna be a good fight, and I'm just happy that this is finally taking place, man. So if that prediction actually happens, man, that's crazy.
I've been analyzing too. You know, I love boxing. That's why. And a friend of mine, we actually going to start our podcast soon, hopefully. And I gave him my prediction today. You know, I sent it to him, and we went over it, and he sees exactly the same way. This is the outcome, because I've been analyzing Porter's style for quite some time.
Right.
And I noticed he doesn't have too many options with Earl. And listen, let's face it, every fight Porter's ever been in, it was a close fight. And I know he said he got experience, but listen, Earl gets people out of there. You know what I'm saying? Earl beat Crawford. People keep forgetting how tough Crawford was. He was the dog in the division before Earl.
Mm-hmm.
Crawford was the ghost. Crawford was the man nobody wanted to see. All right?
Yeah, you got a point.
Earl went in and cleaned up the division. People did stay away from Earl for a reason. And we're going to see that. We're going to see it next week. I'm predicting what I just said. 7 to 8 rounds. Errol Spence, man down.
All right. Boxing knowledge, man, for sure. Appreciate your call, man. You brought a lot of energy on the show, and that prediction come true, man. I would say, hey, boxing knowledge said so, man. So I appreciate you for calling through.
Man. One love, brother.
Yes, sir.
And shout out to the LBC.
All right. Yeah, man. So, man, he's predicting that Errol Spence stoppage, man, and. You know, when Errol Spence said that too, 561-935-5186, man, have your voice heard. But when Errol Spence said that on the face-to-face, I believe it was, and he told Shawn Porter that you going to congratulate me after this fight. And I was just like, man, I had to do a little video talking about it because it really kind of like sent that realization into my brain that as much as I like both fighters and I kind of want to see Porter do a good job, because like I said, I like both fighters, and I think a lot of the fans, not all, but a lot of the fans have been very, very disrespectful, and they've been counting out Porter. So my natural feeling is to want him to do well in this fight, because I like him as a fighter. But when Errol Spence looked at him and told him, I'm going to knock you out, and he said, you going to congratulate me after this fight, because there's no real hard feelings between these two, bro. Like, even at the press conference, there was like a lot of respect between the two. So I can actually see that happening. If Shawn Porter, gives it his all and come up short in this fight, there's pretty much going to be love afterwards, man. So when Errol said that, it really hit home for sure. So, man. 301. What's your name? Where you calling from?
That was going on, man. Eric from Virginia. I called yesterday, but yeah, man, I gotta have my shit tonight too.
All right.
So you was trying to conversation, but I'm a fan of both of them, and they both have advantages and disadvantages or whatever, right? Even though I'm leaning toward my mind and my heart right now saying Spence as a heavy favorite. But for years, man, I was a fan of Porter, Garcia, everybody in the welterweight division. But the past couple of years, Danny Garcia, Porter, and who was my man, Thurman, they were having the same energy when it came to fighting Spence or Crawford. So that's why I'm mainly rocking with Spence right now. They were all my guys, man. The whole welterweight division was loaded with talent. But
right.
The past 6 years, man, like they didn't want no smoke. They all was Spence. They tore every excuse in the book. Why they want to fight each other, rematch after rematch, and why they should go fight other people. And then, when Spence came up, he didn't have the experience. I mean, we were on top dog, we were for each other. Who are these for? He's not ready. And this, that, and third. Who are these for? Look at his resume. But that's the main reason why I'm working with Spence. And either way, it's a good look for for boxing in general, because as of lately, it's been taking a huge hit, man, as far as popularity goes. And it's bad, man. I'm a huge boxing fan, but if I go to Hooters or Children's Hill or other sports bars, they're going to be crazy when I ask them if they show want to fight. They show every UFC fight. They show, different college basketball,
right.
NBA, NFL. They show everything. They show golf sometimes before they show boxing.
Exactly. Yep.
It was like, come on, man. I've been playing this, man. It's they show ping pong or what's it called? Some other BS sports on TV. Well, But like I said, but it's a very good look. You know, even though somebody, I think who was it? De Niro or somebody said it earlier that both fighters like the energy and like their personalities. Fuck little girl. But the old days were long gone. We had like the heavy trash talkers and stop being that little girl. Hold on, my dog's away. Yeah, it's a good look for the Westwood division. And I think we're trying to make progress. You know, by being showing the Staples Center, and I said earlier, Shawn Porter, he's riding on top with LeBron James. You know, he ran the whole Ohio by the waves. Yeah, man, look forward to seeing LeBron James in the audience. So LeBron James like Beyonce for us. You know, LeBron James, he's gonna be somewhere. We're gonna be somewhere. Just like how Beyonce does the ladies.
Right.
So that right there might put some action for some seats. And what's the pay-per-view amount anyway for?
You said what's the pay-per-view? How much is it?
What's that, $70?
Yeah, I think it's like 75. But hey, you know they are. I believe they're showing it in theaters. So if you can't get to a bar or something like that, you could probably go to your nearest theater. They should be showing it.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. What? Like AMC or something? I know a few years ago, they showed the what's the name fight? Who was it? Mayweather and what was it? GMM.
Conor McGregor?
The movie theaters. Who?
You said Conor McGregor or the Pacquiao one?
Nah. Mayweather versus GMM. Juan Marquez.
Oh yeah. Okay, Juan Marquez. Yeah.
Yeah, so now he didn't say that confirmed because now I want to get my hopes up and get disappointed. Yeah, so is that official? Are they re-showing the movie theaters?
I'm not gonna say 100% I know, but I've heard that it is. So I can probably look into it for sure, and I'll probably do like a video about it or something like that. Let everybody know how they can watch it.
And what's the undercard looking like? They got Benavidez and the real, right?
Yeah, they got Benavidez. It's actually a pretty good undercard. I'm gonna go to it right now. As a matter of fact, I think they got Benavidez and Darrell, and then they also have I know Robert Guerrero is fighting. They got who else they got? Let me see. Let me go to this card real quick. I'm going to Box Records where I'm trying to go. Yeah, I should go over this card because I know a lot of people want to know. Let me see. Errol Spence.
I know this is all subject, but earlier when first of all, you talking about Canelo fighting over there.
All right, so they got yeah, that's later though. Let me see. Hold on. So they got Mario Barrios is fighting a guy's name in which I can't pronounce, but Josecito Lopez and John Molina Jr. is on his undercard too. That's gonna be a good scrap.
Okay, yeah, it will.
Robert Guerrero is fighting, and I think there's some other guys on here that I don't really know about, but they also got the prospect Joey Spencer is supposed to be fighting. But all of these are not. Yeah, so it's a pretty decent little undercard with all these fights.
Oh man. Man, that's good right there too.
Yep.
Yeah, man, let me get out of here.
Yes, sir. Appreciate your call, bro.
All right.
Yep. Yeah, man. So it should be a pretty good. Is my stream messing up, or am I still live? All right, yeah, I'm still live. I thought my jump was messing up for a second. Ray Mares, I see you in the building, family. He says, you coming to LA, Jim? Yeah, I should be out there, man. If it be the Most High's will and I have safe travels, I will definitely be out there, man. Very expensive out there, though. I don't know if I'm ever coming back. But we're gonna make it happen this time. For sure. I think the next fight I'm going to try and get out to, man, I want to get to the Charlo fight is what I want to do. Hey, Ray Mars, you gonna be at the fight or what? You gonna show up to the Staples or what? me see how long I've been on this live stream. Anybody else want to call in and chop it up with your boy, man? 561-935-5186. Call in, speak your piece, predictions. Let me know who you think will win this fight. Do I got any Shawn Porter fans in the building? Where the Shawn Porter fans at, though? He said I might stop by, not sure. I'm kind of getting tired of LA. Been in LA all week. But anyway, man, we could probably keep on a live stream, man. But you know, your boy be having to take a break sometime. I might have to end this live stream unless somebody want to call in and talk. Call in, holla at your boy, man. Or I just put this racing chair together. This junk kind of comfortable. Just got this thing. Sam D said, bro, what music was Porter playing at the presser when he started screaming? I don't know. My lady said he was playing some Marvin Sapp. He was playing some Marvin Sapp with some sort of Christian music or something. Yeah, I don't know what song that was, but I ain't never heard of it. Oh, okay. So Ray Barnes, your company out there. 817. What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
What's up, Jim? This is Brandon Williams, man.
Hey, what's going on with you, Mr. Williams?
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, I want to talk about Spence, man. Look, there's no time for some time here, man. You know, he's coming up. You know, he's trying to play these old crazy mind games with Spence. And you know that's not going to work. Spence is just too strong in the mind. And come September 28th, he's going to try to fall in, leaning on that. You know, that technique he got, you know, it's how to push him off, drag it down so he can hold him off. Everybody happy. He's he's throwing his hands all wild. I mean, that's like he's doing a lot of work. He's not really connected with a lot of punches, though, but he can't. Spence will not leave it to the judges. Let's just put it like that. We're not gonna leave it to the judges, you know. We gonna knock out Shawn Porter like my man said.
Hey, what?
7 rounds.
Oh, you think it's gonna be 7-round knockout?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Oh yeah. Like Spence said, he has no options but to do what come forward. Because he can't box it. And I'm sure that they've already figured that little technique. So, and that dude's from Dallas. We used to that. You know what I'm saying? So you think the majority of what's going to take place in this fight has pretty much everything to do with Errol Spence's talent, not necessarily anything about Porter. It's mostly just how good Spence is, right? Yeah. I'm going to tell you like this. Spence is the truth. He's the truth, man. You know, and then, you know, like Shawn Porter saying that, oh, yeah, we've been looking at Spence for a while. Now you're looking at ducking, because there were 3 people ducking him. Danny Garcia, no hit Thurman, and Shawn run time, showtime for run time.
You know what I'm saying? They was all three standing up to, each other. They fight each other. And every time Spence try to get in, well, you don't have the credentials. Now he has credentials. Even your boy Showtime, one time, they're trying to fight him now. He had a hand injury with Pacquiao.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Right. So now he's going to get paid. I think he's going to get paid to move back to Bali. You know what I'm saying? He trying to get his money, get back to Bali. Showtime go get his money, go back to no time. Man, Spence grew up people, man. He's going to ruin Shawn Porter, man, for real. That dude is the truth. So take a good look at someone this time, man, because just like, and everybody always talk about this moral victory. Mikey got a moral victory. Man, there ain't no moral victory. That's an L. An L is a L. And the only reason why he did knock him out is the veto. Just like she said this. Spence said, hey man, I didn't say I was gonna knock him out. I didn't say I was gonna knock Mikey out. But I'm gonna knock you out. I'm gonna knock you out. So, yeah, man, they were, so I'm looking for a good fight. Gonna end by 7. Shawn Porter out, or they gonna throw in that tile on. Get your tile ready, throw it in. I'm throwing the tile in the front. So man, but you got a great show, man. I subscribed to you a long time ago. I'm glad to see you on live.
Yeah, man.
Hey, girl. Keep up that good work, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your call, Mr. Williams, man. Much love, peace, and blessings to you, brother.
Love, peace, and happiness, brother.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Errol Spence fans showing up heavy today. That's what I'm talking about, man. So, it's fight week, man. Win, lose, or draw, it's fight week. It's time to really get down to business, man. And, it's been a lot of talking between the fans, and the fans can't fight,
Win,
314-314. What's your name? Where you calling from? I don't know why this always does this. I'm gonna have to figure this out. 314-314.
Yo, what's going on with you, Jim?
Hey, what's going on? Who's calling? Where you calling from?
This is what St. Louis, man.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm just giving this fight to my man Spence, man. He's styling killer, man. And that's what he do, man. Everybody in the gang talking how they gonna do this and do that, man. I just give it to the guy that's styling killer, man. He don't talk, but he go in there and he handle business. So I just don't understand, man. So I'm just gonna get this fight right here to my man Spence, and hopefully we can get that Spence and that Crawford in the future.
Right. How do you predict this fight go down, bro?
I predict it's gonna be a technical stoppage, man. You know what I'm saying? Because Spence ain't nothing but a 3-chopper. You know what I'm saying? He goes straight to that body, and when he goes to that body, man, it's a wrap, man. Everybody that he hit in the kidneys, man, and it was so thick, they ain't coming down. They going straight down, man. So that's how I'm gonna look at this fight, man. I wish I could make it on out there to LA, but I'm gonna stay on up there in the mood. I'm gonna keep game on the PS4 PlayStation Network, man.
Yes, sir. I hear you. Yeah, man. Ain't no real needs to really go out there because it's like super expensive, bro. So wait till one come closer to you.
Yeah, that's it, man. I was gonna go to the movies, man. When I found out, I said, hell, I got the thing up there at the PlayStation. I'm gonna get on the 16th, like I've been doing all of, man. The Thurman factory, y'all. That was sad. I don't know why Thurman thought that he could take a legend, man, but that boy got the T-Rex on for nothing. He went out on fights for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So I was like, wow. I was impressed with the fact, y'all. But you know what? We're going to have to do some serious talking. In fact, y'all get in the game and take all these young thunders out.
Hey, and it's funny that you say that because, man, I mean, the way he looked versus Thurman, I think everybody except Errol Spence and maybe, Shawn Porter. But, I mean, Pacquiao looks like he can hang, bro.
Man, seriously, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, this dude ain't stopped. So he got one of them drives like one of them old quarterbacks that just can't get up out the camera. That's the type of love that Pacquiao got. So, that's a mean drive, man, for a guy that just turned 40. So yeah, man, but I'm just gonna get this fight right here, man. Spence, man. I'm just gonna sit back and see what happens. I'm just predicting the technical stoppage. I don't know what round, but the way that dude chopped down the body, man.
Yeah, huh?
Porter got to be sharp, man. You can't be swinging wild and head all in the person's chest, man. Because when your head's in the chest, I'm seeing you swinging up. He's going to that body. You know?
Yep.
That's how it's gonna be looking. So he gonna have to really be on top of his game when he's fighting Spence, man. Spence is a large guy, he got reach and everything. So he's gonna have to do some Mike Tyson. That's the only way.
Yeah, he definitely got to put together a perfect game for sure.
Super perfect game, man. Spence, man. Hey man, this young brother, man. Hey, I gotta give it to him, man. He remind me of a Haggard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why I really want him and Crawford to get on, because he might just get a Haggard and Hearns too. I don't think my man Crawford gonna punch himself out though, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna get off the phone. I know you guys want people that's gonna call in, but man, yeah, thanks, man. But I just want to put my little 2 cents in the game. That's all.
Hey, absolutely, man. Appreciate your call. Much love, peace, and blessings to you, man. Shout out to St. Louis, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So it's fight week. We almost there. I don't really know what much more I can say about this fight, bro. I can just keep on going and keep on going. Mr. De Niro said, "Don't get lost after you have a dispensary, Jim. That good Cali will have you lost, forgetting where you was going." Nah, we're gonna get our Uber on out there for sure, cause I ain't got time to be getting stuck in traffic, man. I'll let the Uber driver get stuck in traffic. But hey, man, who want me to continue this show, man? Or we gonna cut the show, man? Let me know. Should I keep going and keep receiving these calls and keep talking this fight week stuff, or should I get back to y'all tomorrow, man? I done been on here for about 1 hour 30. Yeah, man. So that's pretty much all I got for tonight, man. We're gonna probably get back on here and talk tomorrow. And I'll probably drop some content tomorrow. I got to get back on my regular content. I haven't been able to drop regular videos in a while. I've just been working so much and being so busy. But we're going to get back at y'all tomorrow, man. Really appreciate everybody for coming through the live stream. And I hope to see y'all come back. Brandon Williams, appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that came through. Appreciate the donations, the super chats, all that good stuff, man. So this your boy, Get a Mic. This is Jim Boxing. We'll be right back here tomorrow, most likely. That's if I don't go over to Orlando, man. If I get stuck in Orlando, I won't be back here to the computer. But we definitely gonna, keep these live streams up every night, anywhere between 9:30 to 11:30, somewhere in there. Most likely 10 o'clock, and y'all can come on in here and speak y'all piece, man. So anyway, appreciate everybody. Much love, peace, and blessings to all the brothers and sisters. This your boy, Get a Mic. This Jim Boxing, and I'll be back. Peace.